Hello, good evening. So today we are presenting our full review of the 1950 FIFA World Cup that took place in Brazil. And it was a World Cup which took place after 12 years, because the last World Cup it took place in France in 1938, and then there was Second World War. So no World Cup placed in this time. And this World Cup uh, in Brazil, it took place after 12 years, as we discussed now, and it took place between 20th June till 16th July 1950. And 16 teams were actually qualified for this World Cup, but only 13 teams they played. And one interesting thing, I think, which is surprised, that India also qualified for this World Cup, but they later on withdrew their name. Many countries from Europe, they also refused to go to Brazil because of the logistic issues, long traveling time, go to all the way to South America from Europe. So in total, 13 teams, they finally agreed. So no one qualified from Africa, and two teams from North America, Mexico and United States, and five teams from South America. Brazil was the host, Bolivia, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Uruguay, as we discussed in our previous two episodes of 1934 and 1938, he didn't participate, though they were the champions in 1930. So there is one interesting point that I will discuss later. And from Europe, the six teams, they were qualified. England, first time they were participating in the World Cup. France, they qualified, but they withdrew. And then Italy, who were the champions of 1934 and 1938. Scotland, they qualified, but they also withdrew. And so is Turkey. So other teams from the Europe were Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and Yugoslavia. So in total, these 13 teams, they were divided into four groups. Group 1, 2, 3, 4. Group 1 comprises of Brazil, Mexico, Yugoslavia, and Switzerland. Group 2, England, Spain, Chile, and United States. Group 3, Sweden, Italy, Paraguay, India, but India withdrew from the tournament. And Group D comprises of Uruguay, France, and Bolivia. So France withdrew, so it left only with two teams, Uruguay and Bolivia. And Group 3 left with three teams, Italy, Sweden, and Paraguay. Group 1 and Group 2, they have four teams each. The format of this tournament was not like the format of 1938. The top team from each group will go into another group. So, like Group 4 only have two teams. So Uruguay have to play only one match against Bolivia. The whichever team will win will go to the next group. So that will come on to the next round. And four teams which qualified from these groups, the Brazil won their two matches and they drew their one match. So they qualified from Group 1. From Group 2, Spain qualified by winning all their three matches. From Group 3, Sweden qualified and they got 3 points. They defeated Italy also. Italy, who were the champions of 1934 and 38. They were knocked out in the first round. And Group 4, which, as I just mentioned, comprises of Uruguay and Bolivia. So Uruguay, who were the champions of 1930, they qualified for the final round. Now, four teams who topped their groups, they came into the final round group. One important thing which I want to tell here, there was no quarterfinals, no semifinals, no finals. So this was a unique format of this tournament, which only applied on this tournament, and it never happened again because no one liked that one. So the top four teams were Uruguay, Brazil, Sweden, and Spain. So they have to play match with each other. So every team has to play three match, these four teams, and whosoever get the maximum point, they will win the World Cup. So the situation happened in such a way that the Sweden and Spain, they were out, and the final game was between a Uruguay and Brazil. Brazil has won their both matches. They have 4 points, and but Uruguay, they won one game and they drew another game, so they have 3 points. When they went for the game with Brazil, the Uruguay have 3 points, but the Brazil, they have 4 points. So Brazil just need a draw, so their points will become 5 and they will become the world champion. So essentially, this game between the Uruguay and Brazil was a final, though it was not labeled as a final. It was a group game because of the format of the World Cup. So, and this was taken place at the very famous stadium in the Brazil, Maracanã Stadium, that comprises of 200,000 crowd. It is the same ground which hosted the 2014 semi-final, and which Brazil, they lost with Germany 7-1. So, and Brazil started very nicely that game, and they were on the top, but Uruguay, it drew by scoring first goal, and then I think 10 minutes from end, they scored the second game, and the whole ground was quiet. And this match ended on the victory of Uruguay by 2-1, and thus in that group Uruguay got 5 points and Brazil, they were 4 points. So the Uruguay become the world champion of 1950 World Cup. Just imagine, Uruguay won the first World Cup 1930. They didn't participate in 1934 and 1938, and they participated in 1950 World Cup, and they become champions. So they appeared in 2 World Cups, and on both occasions they were the world champions. So Uruguay has a very, very impressive legacy in the World Cup history, though they never won after 1950. Till now, they were in the semi-finals in 2010, but after that, they never qualified for that semi-final or final stages. So Uruguay. So this was the unique format of the 1950 World Cup, and the whole Brazilian nation was like in a mourning, because they were expecting this Brazil team to win the World Cup at their home ground. But it's still 4 World Cups, 2 won by Uruguay, 2 won by Italy, and then we will move, inshallah, to 1954 World Cup. And believe me, there is a new winner of this World Cup. So see you in our next episode. Stay with our Betak channel, subscribe and like. We will be having a very interesting 1 month ahead of FIFA World Cup 2026 to be held in United States, Canada and Mexico. So see you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.